Hey, and welcome to the Prosperous Musician, helping you prosper in the music business. And it is music news hack today, and it's a roundup of the week's music news. And according to Music Biz Worldwide, it has been what do they call it? It's been a week removed from reality. And what does that mean? Well, from the top, Sony Music has bought AWAL and Kobalt, neighbouring rights from Kobalt Music Group. So it's these big sort of takeovers going on. Sony Music Sony Music Entertainment, has entered into a definitive agreement to acquire two companies from the Kobalt Music Group. Sony Corporation has confirmed that the deal is costing Sony Music $430 million. So one of these companies is AWAL, which is the recorded music services firm that works with independent artists like Lau, Phineas, AG Club, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, etc. So the other is Performing Rights Collection Agency Kobalt Neighbouring Rights, which is distributing more than $250 million to over 12,000 artists and labels clients since 2013, with big hitters like Ed Sheeran and Concord and Ariana Grande, Cardi B and the like. So there you go. It looks like Sony's buying up a big portion of the Kobalt there. So moving on, Universal Music Group pulls the catalogue from Triller. So that's the TikTok rival. Shamefully withheld payments to artists. Now that's not good. Universal Music Group has pulled its catalogue from music from short-form video platform Triller, which is a fast-growing rival to TikTok worldwide, but has landed in trouble with the music business before over its treatment of copyright. A UMG spokesperson said, "We will not work with platforms that do not value artists." Triller has shamefully withheld payments owed to our artists and refuses to negotiate a license going forward. We have no alternative except to remove our music from Triller, effective immediately. So there you go. If you're on Triller and you're using that, don't expect to get a fair payment for your music. And I think that's where at least TikTok are, they're not withholding money to artists. So you can do without that. So I would say if you're thinking of doing Triller, don't. And Spotify, talking about platforms that withhold money to artists, Spotify lost the equivalent of $2.2 million every day in 2020 as it spent over $1 billion on sales and marketing in the year. Now think about that. That is a crazy business model. It's losing money, hand over fist, yet spending massive amounts of money on marketing and sales. Now, as I think we talked about before on here, they're basically being propped up by funding. The business model isn't sustainable until it reaches a lot more subscribers. Are doing the paid model now. It says here there are a few different ways you can slice Spotify performance, as revealed in the Q4 results. Spotify shareholders will be happy to see that the firm's paying subscriber base closed out last year's fourth quarter at 155 million. That was up 11 million on where it sat behind Q3 and up 1 million year on year. So this paying subscriber base is growing, but still not enough for them to lose money. There was further good news in terms of Spotify's top line annual revenue growth, up 16.5% year on year from 6.76 billion to 7.88 billion in 2020. So the top line is growing, but the bottom line isn't. Yet further down Spotify's statement of operations, you look, the grislier things become, and that's you can catch up with this news. We won't go into too much detail on here this time, but if you go to musicbizworldwide.com, I'll put the link down below. You can have a look for yourself, read up a bit more about that. And on the other tip of companies growing in profit, Sony's global recorded music operation, Sony Music, saw its annual streaming revenues jump by nearly 20%, or $500 million in 2020. Those streaming revenues hit 2.87 billion in the 12 months as Sony's worldwide recorded music revenues across all formats hit 4.51 billion, which is 8.1% year-on-year growth. Sony's standout quarter last year was calendar for Q4. Its overall recorded music revenues grew 17.5%, while streaming revenues jumped by an impressive 26%. So Sony are hot on the heels, and of course Sony, they're not just a music streaming service, although they are doing rather well out of it all. Obviously, they're a massive company with lots of different facets to them. So their business model is a lot different to Spotify's, where really all they have is just streaming, which at the moment doesn't seem to be working for them. So it remains to be seen how long that will go on for. So that's kind of it really this week on what's going on. There hasn't been any big buyouts this week, although we can see that sorry, I'm just getting my refresh the page there. You can see that Hypnosis, they seem to be in the music news every week. They have raised another 100 million to go after song catalogues, making their assets huge, as a song publisher would, and it seems to be there's no stopping them at the moment. They're buying frenzy. So we'll see what happens next week. We'll see whose catalogue they end up buying next week. So we'll round off with what happened today on this day in music. So 1964, the Beatles, Pan Am Flight 101 was greeted by over 5,000 Beatles fans as it arrived at New York's JFK Airport. As the Beatles arrived to the US for the first time, causing riotous scenes as they touched down. That was the start of Beatlemania. 1967, kind of going the other way, Robin Morris and Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees returned to the UK after living in Australia for 9 years. 1969, The Who recorded Pinball Wizard at Morgan Studios in London. The song is the band's most famous live song, been played at almost every Who concert since its live debut performance on the 2nd of May 1969, of course. Paul Simon started a 3-week run at number 1 on the US singles chart with 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, the singer's first US solo number 1. Great song. Great song, mate. I didn't know this. 1979, Stephen Stills of Crosby, Stills and Nash became the first rock performer to record on digital equipment in 1979. I would have thought that would come a bit later, but there you go. It was as early as 1979 that was going on. In other news, Michael Jackson's Thriller was named the top pop video in a poll of Channel 4 viewers in the UK. The 1983 video, which depicts the singer as a werewolf, beat videos by Madonna and Robbie Williams. There you go. And born on this day many years ago, who was... let's have a look. Can you guess who was born on this day? Well, one of my favourite bands, Supergrass, the drummer, Danny Goffey, was born in 1974, which makes him 46, because I'm 47 and I was born in 73. That's how I knew that. And Garth Brooks, the country and western artist, born in 1962. Steve Bronski of Bronski Beat. And Brian Travers, I originally came from Birmingham, this guy from Birmingham as well. He was the saxophonist in UB40, that had hits in the 80s, Red Red Wine, and 30 other top 40 hits. And I believe he recovered rather well from a brain operation recently, so well done, Brian. He's still going strong there. And that's it. That rounds up this week's music news hack. If you have any information, any details of any of the news stories this week, drop the comments down below. I'd love to hear them. And stay tuned next week for more in the music news hack. If you want to know more about it as well, check out the Music Business Worldwide, which I'll put the link down below. Excellent resource, loads of great interviews on there, loads of great information, and they are up to date with their music news, so check it out. So my name's Spence. I'm the Prosperous musician, helping you prosper in the music business. Take it easy, stay safe, be prosperous. See you next week.